is calling 2023 CR 3544, State of Texas versus Garland Green. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense,
Robert Gear, Your Honor, for defendant Garland Green, and we're ready.
are you Mr. Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Green, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included charge of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation.
Any objection?
No objection from defense, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married, or cohabitation as a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes.
The range of punishment for that offense is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes.
Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense, is that the plea?
That is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge, there have not.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be no contact with the BIPP program and anger management. Did you understand those were conditions that the state is recommending and the court does not have to follow that?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and all of its attachments.
Defense is reviewed, Judge. We have no objection.
And state, have you talked to the complainant?
We have previously, Your Honor, in complete candor, this complaining witness has signed an affidavit of non-prosecution and was uncooperative with our case.
All right, thank you. You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Green, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements or police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. In regard to the no contact order, which the parties are cohabitating. They do share a 5-year-old son who just started school yesterday. My client works at Pepsi during the day. Mother works for Rack Space at night. So the no contact order would impose a unduly burden on the parties in respect to parenting this child. As is usually the case, Your Honor, in these situations, CPS was involved as per family-based service plan. The parties went to counseling. My client went to counseling and is continuing to go to counseling. Both parties have been and are attending marriage counseling at this time. My client says that it's been a good influence on both them and their relationship. And they feel that the no contact order, if implemented, as mentioned, would be a burden not only on their relationship, on their status, but their ability to parent the 5-year-old child. So we respectfully request that the court not order a no contact order. Thank you.
All right, so is this a son or a daughter? Because I was reading the report, it was a daughter.
Little girl, sorry.
Okay, no problem. I want to make sure I have it right. So what family members do you have in Bear County?
I have my mom, my dad, but my dad, he doesn't really help out much. My mom, she really can't because she can barely move around herself. Oh, I'm sorry. My dad, he doesn't really help. And my mom, she can't because she physically can't move around to help watch my 5-year-old.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm not going to do a no harmful or injurious contact. If there wants to be a no contact order, then the complainant can appear by Zoom or either in person. I want you to understand something.
Yes, ma'am.
I read the police report, and in the police report, you said she was pushing your buttons, you're pushing her buttons, and all, you can unfold your arms. And all of you all were acting not as adults, y'all were acting like children. And the child at the time was 4 years old. You all caused drama and trauma to a 4-year-old. What is a 4-year-old supposed to think? And you and the complainant are going through the apartment, throwing things around. And you tell a 4-year-old, don't throw that, place it back where it's supposed to be, and trying to lay down the law to a 4-year-old. And you all are acting worse than the 4-year-old.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a memory that 4-year-old is going to have forever. No amount of counseling that you all go to try to put your life together is going to take away that the 4-year-old witnessed all of this drama in their life. So if he wants to have contact with the mom and they're working things out, she needs to appear by Zoom and the court will consider it. If you want to get her to Zoom in here today, then I'll consider it today. Is she able to Zoom today?
She sleeps because she works at night.
Oh, well, if somebody wants to call her and have her Zoom in.
I can call her.
All right. So it's going to be 2 years deferred adjudication, affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with. Of course, if you call her and she Zooms in today, I'll reconsider. The BIPP course, 80 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. If you've done parenting classes through CPS, that will be acceptable. If you have not, then you'll need to do parenting classes. If he's completed parenting classes related to this incident through CPS, then the community service hours will be deemed to be satisfied. There's to be anger management. There's to be CPS compliance. It sounds like it's a safety plan. So whatever the safety plan is giving them, just make sure he's doing that. And probation, if what he's doing for his CPS safety plans coincides with what I'm requesting, then the CPS, what they're doing will be enough. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, and field visits one time. Well, field visits, I want at least 3 field visits throughout the entirety of his probation. So you only have to do 3. If you deem that there's something that's an issue, then of course you can do more, but a total of 3 field visits throughout his probation. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else you need? Is there anything else you need from the court? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Here's the thing. When there is violence in a home, children learn how to behave, right? So if somebody wins an argument by being violent, guess what? A child realizes, hey, if I want to win an argument, I need to be violent. Or here's the thing, you have a daughter. A daughter will think that you love her mom, right? You love her. So a daughter will begin to think, oh, this is how somebody who loves you shows that they love you. They're abusive. And then your daughter goes out in the world. And if she ends up with, as my professor in high school would say, and I say professor because he was a doctor who taught us physics, he would always say, girls, do not end up with a joker. So your daughter may end up with a joker. Don't let her be, you be the reason she ends up with a joker. And he would give instruction to the guys too. So you've got to do better. You understand?
I understand.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Michael Ball. Hello. Who's the attorney for Michael? Who's the attorney for James Hernandez?
Judge, I apologize. Sorry.
All right. And then after that, it will be Lynn. All right. Is there a plea just on one of the cause numbers?
Yes, someone.
And this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 5148, State of Texas versus James Ray Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Afternoon for defense.
Are you James Ray Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented
Yes, Your Honor.
with the enhancement allegation?
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. We're waiving the repeater enhancement and proceeding only on the indictment.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 5149. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense? Is
Yes,
that the
Judge.
plea? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also there's an anger management course. State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be the DDRF, 80 hours community service restitution, NIC evaluation, no contact with. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor, state offer states exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objection? State, have you talked to the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor, the state has spoken with the complainant and they are, they did ask the state to push for drug treatment for the defendant. And one other thing I want to mention about the repeater enhancement that the state waived. As far as the state can tell, that is not a case that's in his criminal history. I'm not sure how it made its way into the indictment, but the reason, a big reason it's being waived is because it's not part of his criminal history.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
All right. This is what the court will do. Well, let me ask you this first. Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
13, 7, 5, and 4.
13, 7, 5, and 4?
Yes, ma'am.
And do they live with their mother? Who are they living
My
with?
first 3, their mother passed away. They live with my ex-mother-in-law, and then my 4th lives with her mother.
Okay. All right. Have you ever had any mental health diagnosis?
Yes, ma'am, I have. I've had about 6 in the last 4 years
And what is the diagnosis?
that I have no problems, I guess. I've been to Laurel Ridge, I say behavioral. I actually had one for my last charge of discharge of a firearm from 2020, which was the most recent, and they dismissed that case in March of this year.
It's my understanding that's the only
Yeah.
prior charge he has, was the
All
drug.
right. So does he suffer from mental illness or not?
Not that I'm aware of. My understanding, the state wanted to have him evaluated.
All right. So what happened this day? Was that drug induced? Were you using drugs that day?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So you're telling me that his family think there's some drug issues or mental health issues?
In our communication with his mother, she does believe that there's some drug issues and that he would benefit from drug treatment.
He did attend Laurel Ridge. That was for an inpatient treatment. There was history. There has been a history of drug usage. He went through CPS as well.
Oh, and lifetime recovery outpatient, Your Honor.
Okay. And what drugs were you using at that
Just
time?
methamphetamine.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. It's a $500 fine to be probated, 6 years deferred adjudication. Taking consideration 2023 CR 5149, affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact. Anger management. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be a TAP evaluation, MIC evaluation, DDRF evaluation, and that's to take place in custody and follow all recommendations. And there is to be proof of employment. Are you receiving any type of SSI?
No, ma'am.
Proof of employment within 45 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline until further notice. And field visits 1 time per month for 4 months and then as needed. If he gets a case manager early on, then probation, you can stop with the field visits. Probation, is there anything else just 1 second. We're going to do 80 hours of community service restitution and parenting classes. Once he completes those, the community service restitution will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No,
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, in this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel that the probation officer is not addressing that, you can always come to court. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Judge.
You have a good day.
Were you on time for court today?
No, ma'am,
Why not?
because I'm homeless and I've been trying to, I've been living pillow to post.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What did you say?
I'm homeless. I just got out of jail like 3 weeks ago and
Okay.
I've been trying to get somewhere to stay and figure out how I'm gonna be able to get back and forth to classes because I also have CPS going on as well.
Mhm.
And I don't have any money, don't have a job, and I've been looking for one, so I had to wait till my uncle or someone sent me money to get me an Uber. Cause
I mean, if you take the VIA bus, it's cheaper than an Uber.
yes, ma'am, but staying on 1604, there's no VIA buses.
See, that's where people call their city council person and tell them there's no VIA bus off of 1604.
I don't know who the city council is.
Oh, everybody should know who their representative is. People use their phones for so many things, but unnecessary things. And then when it's something important, and this is just not for you, this is for everybody, do this. When you ask them, who is your state representative? Who is your US senator? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, Google it. You can put your address in and it'll tell you who your city council person is. It will tell you who your commissioner is. It will tell you who your state representative is. It will tell you who your US House representative is.
Who are all those people, if you don't mind me asking?
It would have to be whatever your address is. Everybody doesn't have the same city council. Everyone doesn't have the same
Oh, I'm
commission.
sorry, because I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize.
No need to apologize. You know what? My mom always says, you should learn something new every day. If you did not learn something new, then your day was wasted.
Yeah, I learned something new today.
See, there you go. So if you have a phone,
Yes, ma'am.
if you Google in your phone, your address, and if you just put in, I'm very country, so I will put in who's state representative for, and you put in your address, and it'll pop up. Every person that you're allowed to vote for will pop up and you'll know who it is. I can't tell you who it is because I don't know your address, but the commissioners, they're divided up 4 distinct people. And you can call the commissioners and say, because commissioners court, they're in charge of city maintenance per se, or county maintenance per se. And they will be, if you go to them, when they have a commissioners meeting and you say, we need some more VIA buses off of 1604, then they'll do it.
Oh, okay. I was so lost. I'm sorry. I'm thinking something about court or something. You're talking about calling them to.
Yes, so you can get to court on time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I apologize.
All right, in that purse, isn't that a Michael Kors?
No, ma'am, it's not. I have a Michael Kors like this.
See, we got to spend money where we need to spend money. All right.
No, this is old.
That's okay. I mean, sometimes we got to let things go so we can get to where we need to be.
Yeah.
All right, 30 days reset. Do you have all the discovery? Did you tender an offer?
We did tender an offer, Judge. I don't know if we've done the discovery acknowledgement yet, Judge.
Judge, we're still working through that. I believe that I do have it. Just need to work through it, but 30 days is what we asked for just because it's for setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this due plea deadline date in 30 days, that'll give you time to make arrangements.
To get here?
Mhm.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Of course.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. September 19th. They'll give you a reset form, then you're excused.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
Thank you. And if you walk downtown, there are plenty of places that are looking for people to work.
Yes, ma'am. I've been looking since I got out of jail.
Okay.
They've been asking me about like my background and stuff since I got these.
Oh, well, they actually, what is the place where they're doing it for people who have history, criminal history?
Your Honor, I can double check and give it to her before she leaves.
You'll have something before you leave.
Okay, thank you.
We're a full service court here.
Yeah, this is my first time being here, so I don't know how to do anything.
Okay,
I'm new. so,
all right,
yeah.
we're gonna make it happen.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Judge, the complaint.
And this is family violence. Oh, come forward. Ms. Wheeler, you need to show your video. And unmute. All right, and Mr. Guy, are you stationary? I don't believe in zooming and driving.
Judge, yeah, let me pull over.
Okay, look at me saving lives in my spare time. All right, we're gonna go on the record. 2023 CR 3544, State of Texas versus Garland Green. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Ruben Herrera for the state.
defense?
Robert Gear for defense, Your Honor.
All right, and you're Garland Green.
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections to Mr. Gear appearing by video, state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And any objection to Ms. Wheeler appearing by video?
No objection from the state.
All right. Ms. Wheeler, what are you wearing?
Close?
Oh, okay. All right. I just saw a shoulder. Like, please have on clothing.
Yeah, I do.
All right. So there was a no contact order that was put in place by the court. And I informed both parties that I would reconsider if you appear. So if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You all can, excuse me, sir, Mr. Pettis, if you all can move down to that end. All right. If you'll state your name for the record.
Jesse Wheeler?
All right, Ms. Wheeler, I'm being asked to consider allowing you to have contact with Mr. Green. Has Mr. Green been staying with you since this incident?
Yes, off and on.
Are y'all currently living together?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
All right, here's the thing. I'm not trying to trap anyone into the fact that they may have violated some sort of orders. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not he should be allowed to have contact with you. That's all I'm here for. So
Oh.
have you all been living together?
Yes.
All right. Have y'all been living together since this incident?
No.
When did y'all start back living together?
We were told that the order was lifted. God, I think back in, I don't know, because CPS got involved and then she said the order was lifted. So that's when we were actually able to start staying with each other again.
And when was that? Has it been this month?
Has it been this month?
Yes.
Yeah, this month, last month. So.
All
Yeah.
right. So are you all in counseling?
Yes, we are.
Couples counseling?
Marriage counseling, and we both do counseling separately.
Do you wish for Mr. Green to continue to stay at the home with you?
Yes.
All right. Any questions?
No question from the state.
All right, then I'm going to change the order to no harmful or injurious contact with Jesse Wheeler. Ms. Wheeler, if there are any issues at the home, you can just let his probation officer know. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, anything else?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
We'll close the record. Thank you, Mr. Greer. You can have a seat.
Thank you, Judge.
Court is calling 2023 CR 6038, State of Texas versus Richard Gabriel Ramos. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Marshall D. White for Mr. Richard Ramos, the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Richard Ramos?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to need you to speak up so the court reporter can hear, okay? Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I believe I have it this time, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ramos, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Are you proceeding with the enhancement allegation?
Yes, we are, Your Honor. And Judge, just. this is a kind of- it's- sorry.
No, my fault.
Step on the paperwork.
Mr. Ramos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a public servant bodily injury? If the enhancement allegation is proven to be true, that will be a second-degree felony. The range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ramos, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yeah.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, you agree that you've been previously convicted of a previous felony. Punishments be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2023 CR 6039 and 712653. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Mr. Ramos, showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
What was that again, ma'am? Sorry.
All right. Did you understand the waiver of appeal paragraph that you signed? This paragraph where your signature is listed. Did you understand it?
No, can you read it again?
I'm sorry, what?
No, can you read it again?
What did he say?
He said, no, like, can you read it again?
All right. So, first of all, did you sign this?
Oh, yes, yes,
Did you go over it with your attorney?
yes.
All right. When you sign this, what you're saying is that you are waiving your right to appeal. And waiving your right to appeal is, in layman's terms, waiving your right to complain about a sentence. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? Now, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. You understand? Did you understand that?
Well, I didn't understand the appeal, no.
All right, do you understand it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still wish to continue?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, they have not. But I will just say, Judge, with respect to this, since it's not documents, certification of your right of appeal, it's the same thing. Okay, you understand? The judge goes along with it, you just have no right to appeal. I did explain that to you. Yes. Okay.
All right. Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
And to the enhancement, how do you plead? True or not true?
Enhancement is a prior conviction. What do you mean, like the enhancement of the prior conviction? Oh, yeah.
Did you review?
You have to say true or not true. Is it true?
It's not true. It's not.
All right, so I'm going to read it to you and I want you to answer if it's true or not true, okay? It says, And it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, and when they say offense alleged above, they mean what you're here for now, on the 16th day of July 80, 2010, and cause number 2006 CR 9302 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. So is that true? Were you previously convicted of that felony?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you plead true to that?
Well, yeah, that I went to prison for that, yes.
All right, so is it true or not true?
True.
Okay. State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor, State Exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramos, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state is going to be presenting their evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Respectfully, Your Honor, we ask the court to follow the plea bargain that Mr. Ramos has entered into with the state of Texas.
All right, Mr. Ramos, it appears that you were having a bad day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any mental health issues,
I don't know.
prior drug issues?
I had an evaluation for DWI.
Okay. All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2023 CR 6039 and County Court Cause number 712653. Counsel, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Ramos, do you have any family in Bear County?
Ma'am.
Do you have any family here?
Yes, yes.
Do you have a support system?
Yeah.
All right,
So yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
thank you, counsel. So when you get out of prison, you need to make some changes, because otherwise, if you pick up a new offense, your attorney, I'm sure, has probably told you this. I know he probably did. You will be listed as a habitual.
I
And
did
if-
tell you that, didn't
And if you're listed as a habitual and you pick up a felony, depending on the felony it is, your minimum sentence would be 25 years. How old are you?
34.
All right, at some point, you're going to get to the point where I am, which is I'm in the twilight of my life. You only have about 20 more years before you're in the twilight of your life. Don't let the majority of your time have been spent in prison. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Good luck,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Ramos.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.